Addition of matrices. Hello everyone. Today, we are going to begin our lesson on the addition of matrices. To start, it is important to understand that matrix addition is one of the most fundamental operations in the field of linear algebra, serving as a building block for many more complex calculations. In simple terms, this process involves combining two existing matrices to produce a third, new matrix. We achieve this by adding together their corresponding elements, which means we add the numbers that occupy the exact same position in each matrix. However, there is a key distinction you must keep in mind. Unlike the simple addition of real numbers that you have done for years, matrix addition cannot be performed on just any two matrices. It requires that the matrices have matching dimensions. In the upcoming slides, we will dive deeper into exactly what these dimensions are and the specific rules you must follow before you begin your calculations. The fundamental condition, order of matrices. Now that we have an introduction to what matrix addition is, we must discuss a critical prerequisite before we perform any calculations. First, you must always check the order, or the dimensions, of your matrices before attempting any addition. In mathematics, the order of a matrix is expressed as m by n, where m represents the total number of rows and n represents the total number of columns. This brings us to the fundamental rule. Two matrices, which we can call matrix A and matrix B, can be added if and only if they have the same order. To clarify, if matrix A is an m by n matrix, and matrix B is also an m by n matrix, then the operation of a plus b is defined, meaning it is mathematically permissible to add them. On the other hand, if the orders differ, for instance, if matrix A is a 2 by 3 matrix and matrix B is a 2 by 2 matrix, the sum of A plus B is not defined. In such a case, the addition is impossible to perform. Once you have verified that the dimensions match, you can then proceed to the actual process of addition, which we will cover in the next slide. The process of addition. Now that we have established the fundamental condition that matrices must have the same dimensions to be added, let us examine the actual process of addition. First, we perform what is known as element-wise addition, provided that the matrices share the same order. To express this mathematically, suppose we have two matrices, matrix A and matrix B, both of which have the same dimensions, m by n when we add these two together. The resulting sum, which we will call matrix C, will also be a matrix of the same order, m by n. The specific rule for this operation is that each individual element in the resulting matrix, C sub ij, is calculated by adding the element a sub ij from matrix A to the corresponding element B sub ij from matrix B. This process is repeated for every row, from 1 up to m, and every column from 1 up to n. In simpler terms, we are simply pairing up the numbers that occupy the exact same position in both matrices and adding them together to find the new value for that position in our final matrix. Now that we understand the theory, let us move on to the step-by-step execution. Step-by-step execution. First, you must verify the dimensions. As we discussed in the previous slides, addition is only possible if both matrices have the exact same number of rows and columns. Always perform this check first to ensure the operation is defined. Once the dimensions are confirmed, the next step is to identify the corresponding elements. This means you should locate the values that occupy the same relative position in both matrices, specifically those sharing the same row index, I, and column index, j. After identifying these pairs, you simply perform the addition by adding these two specific values together. Finally, take the resulting sum and place it into the corresponding position of your new matrix, which we refer to as matrix C. Now that we have established the theoretical basis for matrix addition, let us walk through the practical, step-by-step execution. By following these 4 steps, you ensure accuracy and maintain the correct structure of the resulting matrix. To see how this works in a practical scenario, let us move forward to a real-world example involving inventory management. Real-world example, inventory management. Now that we have discussed the theoretical rules and the step-by-step process of matrix addition, let us apply these concepts to a real-world scenario to see how they are used in practice. Imagine a small business that operates two separate warehouses, which we will call Warehouse A and Warehouse B. Both of these warehouses store two types of electronic devices, laptops and tablets. To keep the inventory organized, the business records the stock levels for two different brands, Brand X and Brand Y, using matrices. First, let us look at the stock levels for Warehouse A, which we will represent as Matrix A in this warehouse. Brand X has 10 laptops and 15 tablets, while Brand Y has 20 laptops and 25 tablets. When we organize this data into a matrix, Matrix A is a 2x2 matrix where the first row consists of 10 and 15, and the second row consists of 20 and 25. Next, let us examine the stock for Warehouse B, which we will represent as Matrix B in this location. Brand X has 5 laptops and 10 tablets, and Brand Y has 12 laptops and 18 tablets. This results in Matrix B, which is also a 2x2 matrix, with 5 and 10 in the first row and 12 and 18 in the second row. Now that we have our data structured into these two matrices, we are ready to move forward and calculate the total combined stock across both warehouses. Real-world example continued. Now that we have established the stock levels for both warehouses in the previous slide, let us determine the total stock across both locations. To achieve this, we will add Matrix A and Matrix B. First, we must perform step 1, which is to check the order of the matrices. As we discussed in the fundamental conditions, addition is only possible if the dimensions match. Here, Matrix A is a 2x2 matrix and Matrix B is also a 2x2 matrix. Since their orders are identical, we can proceed with the addition. Now we move to step 2, where we add the corresponding elements from each matrix. Starting with the first row, for the Brand X laptops, we add 10 and 5 to get a total of 15. For the Brand X tablets, we add 15 and 10, which equals 25. Moving to the second row, for the Brand Y laptops, we add 20 and 12, resulting in 32. Finally, for the Brand Y tablets, we add 25 and 18, which gives us 43. In the next slide, we will see how to place these individual sums back into a final result matrix. Real-world example result. Now, moving to the final step of our inventory example, we will construct the final result matrix, which we shall call Matrix C. To find this, we state that Matrix C equals Matrix A plus Matrix B as we calculated in the previous slide. We place the addition of the corresponding elements into their respective positions within the matrix. Specifically, in the first row, we have 10 plus 5 in the first column and 15 plus 10 in the second column. In the second row, we have 20 plus 12 in the first column and 25 plus 18 in the second column. Once we perform these additions, we arrive at our final result. Matrix C is a 2x_text $2 matrix, where the first row contains 15 and 25, and the second row contains 32 and 43. This resulting matrix provides us with the total combined stock for both brands across both warehouses. Now that we have seen how this works in a real-world scenario, let us move on to a purely mathematical example to further practice these steps. Mathematical example. Let us consider two matrices, which we will call Matrix A and Matrix B, both of which have an order of 2 by 3. This means each matrix consists of 2 rows and 3 columns. First, let us look at Matrix A. The first row contains the elements 2, -1, and 4, and the second row contains 0, 3, and 5. Next, we have Matrix B. Its first row contains the elements 1, 6, and -2, while the second row contains 4, -3, and 1. Now that we have explored how matrix addition works through a real-world inventory example, let us apply those same principles to a purely mathematical problem. Before we move to the next slide to perform the actual addition, remember the fundamental rule we discussed earlier. we must first verify that the dimensions match. Since both matrix A and matrix B are 2 by 3, the addition is defined, and we can now proceed to calculate the sum element by element. Mathematical example calculation. Now that we have established our two matrices from the previous slide, let us walk through the step-by-step calculation to find their sum. Remember, we are adding the corresponding elements from each matrix to build our new result matrix, which we will call matrix C. First, let us find the element in the first row and first column, denoted as C11. We take the element from the same position in matrix A, which is 2, and add it to the corresponding element in matrix B, which is 1. This gives us a result of 3. Next, we move to the first row, second column, or C12. Here, we add -1 from matrix A to 6 from matrix B, which results in 5. Continuing with the first row, we calculate the element for the third column, C13. We add 4 from matrix A to -2 from matrix B, giving us a final value of 2. Now we move down to the second row. For the first column, C21, we add 0 from matrix A to 4 from matrix B, which simply gives us 4. For the second row, second column, C22, we add 3 from matrix A to -3 from matrix B. As these two values cancel each other out, the result is 0. Finally, we calculate the element for the second row, third column, C23. We add 5 from matrix A to 1 from matrix B, which equals 6. Now that we have calculated each individual element, we are ready to assemble them into the final result matrix, which we will examine in the next slide. Mathematical example result. Now that we have completed the individual element-wise calculations from the previous slide, we can assemble those results into our final answer. The sum of matrix A and matrix B equals a new 2 by 3 matrix. In the first row, we have the values 3, 5, and 2. In the second row, we have the values 4, 0, and 6. This final matrix maintains the exact same dimensions as our original matrices, which is a key characteristic of matrix addition. With this mathematical example complete, let us move forward to discuss some common mistakes you should avoid to ensure your calculations remain accurate. Common mistakes to avoid. First, let's revisit the most important rule we discussed at the start, the order of the matrices. A frequent error is attempting to add matrices of different orders. For instance, trying to add a 2 by 2 matrix to a 2 by 3 matrix is mathematically incorrect and simply cannot be done. Always make it a habit to verify the dimensions first before you begin any calculations. Secondly, be careful with element pairing. As we saw in our step-by-step execution, matrix addition is strictly element-wise. You must ensure that you are adding elements that occupy the exact same position, the same row and column, in both matrices. Misaligning these pairs will lead to an incorrect final matrix. Finally, please be mindful of sign errors. Even if you understand the process of matrix addition, a simple arithmetic slip with negative numbers can change your entire result. For example, when adding 4 and -6, the result should be -2, not 10. I encourage you to double-check your signs during each step of the addition process. Now that we have walked through both a real-world scenario and a mathematical example, let us discuss some common pitfalls to ensure you avoid these mistakes in your assignments and exams. Key takeaways. Now that we have covered the process and looked at some practical examples, let's wrap up this lesson with the key takeaways to ensure you have a solid understanding of matrix addition. First, let's revisit the essential condition we discussed at the start. Matrix addition is only possible if the matrices involved are of the same order. You must always verify the dimensions before you begin. Secondly, regarding the method, remember that addition is performed element-wise. In mathematical terms, this means that the element in the ith row and jth column of the resulting matrix, C sub ij, is found by adding the corresponding elements, a sub ij and b sub ij, from the original matrices. As a result of this process, The final matrix you produce will always maintain the same order as the original matrices you started with. Finally, always keep in mind that if the dimensions of the two matrices differ in any way, the sum is considered undefined. In such cases, the operation is mathematically impossible to perform. Keep these points in mind, and you will avoid the common pitfalls we discussed in the previous slide.